Hello and welcome to my video on the Rebel Stakes. It's on Saturday at Oaklawn Park and it's part of the Derby Trail. It's not the greatest field in the world, but let's take a look and see who can win this race. Now I want to discuss a long shot trained by Steve Asmussen, and let's take a look at it first. His name is Lagados, he's number 9, and he's 20 to 1 on the morning line, which is surprising because normally Steve Asmussen horses are not long shots, especially in the Derby Trail race. Why is he 20 to 1? Well, he set the pace in the Smarty Jones Stakes on January 1, and he faded in the stretch to 6th. You can see he lost by 4.5 lengths. Let's take a look at the Smarty Jones and see if we can spot anything. Now, Lagados is on the lead. You can see Mystic Dan is second right now. And the fractions were 23.02, 47.01. I would say those are moderately fast fractions for a mile and 1/16th at Oaklawn. I don't think those are slow fractions. I don't think they're completely average. I think they're on the fast side, and we can see that Lagados is taking all the heat on the lead. Mystic Dad is trying to come up on the outside, and Just Steel is right there in the 3 path, and 4 Patriots on the rail. Now, Lagados is going to get tired here. He's going to actually interfere with a 4 Patriot just for a second before drifting to the middle of the track. But he doesn't fade out of the picture, you know. Lagados is still in the picture. He's not completely folding. He's within 4 legs, 4.5 legs at the end. And given that he set the pace and those were moderately fast fractions, I think it was a good effort. I think he just got a little tired at the end because he wasn't used to setting the pace. If you look at his past performances, he was a stalker in his previous races. On November 25, he won an allowance race at Churchill Downs. On November 9 at Churchill Downs, he was a stalker and he finished 3rd in an optional claimer. Let's watch the November 25 race just to see if we see anything. Now, at this point, we can't really see Lagados too well because he's on the outside. You can see it's the number 5 horse. He's about in the 3 or 4 path right now. And you can see the fractions 24.08 for the opening quarter, so they're going pretty slow. And for the half mile, I think it's going to be a slow fraction as well. Lagados is trying to move up slowly. Sometimes when the fractions are slow, it's hard to separate from the field because every horse in the race has reserved some energy. It's almost like a turf race where they finish clustered at the end because they're all full of energy at the end. The half mile went at 49.25. It was a slow pace for a mile 1/16th at Churchill Downs. You can see Lagados is in the 4 path. He's trying to separate from the field, but as I said, they all reserved energy because they didn't go that fast early. Footprint is trying to move on the inside, but Lagados has this race. He's inching away from Footprint on the inside. And I think it was a good effort. It was a good win. And it proves that he could get the distance of a mile 1/16th. And that's good to know because the Rebel Stakes is a mile 1/16th. Lagados is my choice. I wouldn't like him if he was single-digit odds, but he's 20 to 1 on the morning line. And as long as he stays in a double-digit range, I think he's a good value. I also want to discuss the favorite, Timberlake. Timberlake is obviously the fastest horse in the field. You look at that 103 and 102 on Breeze, and if you're using Breeze or Timeform US or even DRF, he's probably the fastest. He won the Champagne, which is a Grade 1 stakes race at Belmont Park, although they held it at Aqueduct last fall. And then he finished 4th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which I guess is forgivable because he was running against the best 2-year-olds out there. He lost by 8 legs, though, to Fierceness, who didn't return well at Gulfstream. But in any case, Timberlake, he's got the class. He's a Grade 1 winner. He was also second in the Hopeful Stakes at Saratoga. And he's got the speed figures. Brad Cox trains him. Now, I realize he could win. I don't think he's invincible. He's got a bit of a light work tab for his return. Only 5 works. You can see here from January 20 to February 16. He does have that bullet on February 10. I feel like Cox is going to want him to peak in his next race. I think there's no incentive, well, besides the money, there's not as much as incentive to peak him in this race because there's a long campaign ahead. He's still got to run in the final prep race, he's still got to run in the Kentucky Derby, assuming he makes it. He's going to probably have a schedule of Grade 1 races ahead of him, and I just think they're not going to want to empty the bottle now when they could have a long campaign full of Grade 1 races in the future. And Timberlake is a good horse. I just don't know if he's going to show everything he has on Saturday. I also want to talk about Northern Flame. I want to talk about Northern Flame. He was fourth by 4.5 lengths in the Breeders' Futurity won by Locked last October, and Locked right now is one of the favorites for the Kentucky Derby. And Northern Flame also beat Real Men Violin, who I believe is a good horse, and Northern Flame beat him in a maiden race. The only concern with Northern Flame is that he needs to lead to win. His recent optional claiming win came when he was setting the pace in a local optional claimer on January 28th, and he broke his maiden by setting the pace and holding off Real Men Violin. But again, he was fourth in the Breeders' Futurity without the lead, so maybe he doesn't need to lead, because that's a good effort. I also want to talk about Maida, who is number 10. Now, Maida only lost the January 28th optional claimer to Northern Flame by a neck. And I could forgive the fact that he didn't pass Northern Flame in the stretch, because Northern Flame might be one-dimensional and Maida is a stalker. Maybe he could even race from mid-pack. We'll see. And he just has nothing but good dirt races on his record. He broke his maiden by 12 lengths in a maiden claimer at Keeneland. Granted, it was a maiden claimer, but still, he beat them by 12 lengths. And he also won a starter allowance on November 23 at Churchill Downs by 3 lengths. And I could forgive the flop at Turfway Park because it was a synthetic track. He lost by 11 lengths in that race. Then he went to Oaklawn Park and he lost by a neck to Northern Flames. So Maida is improving. He likes dirt. He can get the distance. And I think he will outrun his odds and maybe run second or third, if not win. But my top choice is still Lagados. And I don't know, I'm just going to take a chance on Lagados, especially at his odds of 20 to 1 or whatever odds he's going to be, as long as he's double digit odds. Timberlake is the best horse in this race, but Lagados has a chance to win. And those are my thoughts on the Rebel Stakes in Oaklawn. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your bets.